Hi there everybody, I hope you're all happy and safe, and today I'm going to be doing some more Yoga Nidra with you. I thought today's session we will focus a lot more on the lower back, so we'll do some lovely rotations, we'll do some lovely twists and try and stretch and strengthen the muscles with a special focus for the back muscles. Please find somewhere very quiet if you can, without disruptions, and somewhere that you feel safe and happy to do a tranquil, relaxing session. We're going to focus a little bit at the beginning with a bandha. Now, you may have heard in yoga, a bandha is an energy lock. So today's focus is around the throat area. We're going to do a thing called Jalandhara Bandha. Locking in energy is very, very important and very vital for a whole body and a whole mind well-being. So in yoga, pranayama, which is breath and breath control, is mentioned a lot because the importance of breath is once again very underrated. We take it for granted. It happens unconsciously, but many of us have forgotten really how to breathe, how to actually use the full capacity of our lungs, our diaphragm and our thoracic area. So I'm going to focus on Jalandhara Bandha, which is a throat lock beginning with a breath. So the objection is to obtain a deep breath in with your inhale and lock in that breath. Lock in that energy to direct it to where we could benefit from it the most. Being a throat lock, it's going to go around our area of our throat, around the organs of our neck. So hopefully by taking a deep breath in of energy, locking in that breath, locking in that inhale round our throat, we can massage and encourage a lot of nutrition around the organs of our neck. I will do my best to try and explain it to you, but the more you practice it, the easier it becomes to obtain. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep breath in through our nose, and before we allow the inhale to enter into the lower part of our abdomen, we're going to stop the breath. So you're going to take a deep breath in through the nose, and before you actually can sort of feel it and direct it, obviously it's not going to be perfect, but before you can feel it into your chest and your abdomen, you're going to stop your inhale and then close your chin into your chest and lock that inhale in towards you. Are you ready to try it? We're going to try it once or twice, and then I'll try and explain it a little bit again. But I'm the type of person, I don't like to throw so much information and jargon that you actually lose interest. So we're going to go for it. You're going to have your hands into China Mudra, which is gesture of the mind in yoga. A mudra is a gesture. The thumb and index finger close up a circle and a seal and a stamp. Bring yourself into a comfortable seated position. Relax from your shoulders down. First off, I just want you to encourage a few normal breaths. So just breathe in naturally through the nose and breathe out however you wish, through the nose, through the mouth, however it feels most natural, most comfortable for you. Get used to your breath and allow it to calm down your senses. Allow it to cool you and to set the tone for our session up ahead of us. As you start to feel your heart rate start to slow down and your senses start to quieten, I want you to now start to channel your breath in through your nose and out through your nose. As you start to breathe naturally now in this way, on your next inhale, take a deep breath in, and before you feel it start to enter into your lower extremities, you're going to bring your chin in towards your chest and almost hold that inhale around your neck, allowing it to massage the area around your throat. When you need an out breath, obviously, lift up your chin and please take an out breath, okay? So you need to do it comfortably and with as much relaxation as you can sort of gather. So you're going to take a deep breath in. I'm going to talk you through it as you do. Take a deep breath in. Before it enters into the lower part of your chest, your abdomen, your belly, lock your chin in towards your chest and almost feel that air around the organs of your throat and allow it just to hold there, massage there. And then when you need your out breath, lift up your head, lift up your chest, and then take a really long, deep, inviting breath out. So should we try it together? Resume normal breath for me. Round about 3 or 4 attempts should be enough to begin with. After you bring up your head and you start to resume normal breath, you'll notice the difference in your breathing and how you actually want to encourage a lower breath. So by stopping it in our throat, we can actually shorten our breath and recognize how we are breathing. So when we resume normal breath, you'll notice how you actually want to use your chest. You want to use your abdomen to breathe with. And you want to utilize your full inhale and exhale, which is what we want to achieve at the end results. Jalandhara Bandha, as I said, massages the organs around your throat. So if you are suffering from something like a cold, a tonsillitis, you are feeling a little bit sort of swollen, and pained in that area, Jalandhara Bandha is a good practice to get used to, and it's a good skill to get used to because you can help direct your energy source being your breath towards the areas that you need it the most. Right, hopefully with that practice we've sort of calmed and set the tone for our session ahead. So when you're ready, I want you to loosen up your legs and bring yourself into a standing position. There will be a little bit of balance in this session, so I will encourage you to find either a chair, a wall, or somewhere supportive that you can lean. So when we do practice some balance exercises, you've got a little bit of a security and a little bit of a stable, supportive system to help you along. Right, as I always begin, we're going to start with our feet 1 foot width apart. We're going to lift up our shoulders towards our ears and then just comfortably roll them around and try and loosen up and relax your upper body. So become a little bit lax, a little bit slack, and try and just let go of the tension, let go of any sort of stiffness that you're holding throughout your body. So wiggle your feet around, all 10 toes, try and feel the earth. And then lift up your chin right off your chest and try and bring your head up towards the sky. I always say breathe deep enough that you can hear your breath. Breathe loud enough. Breathe deep enough that you can feel and you can hear. Don't be afraid to breathe. Encourage your breath. When you're ready, link together your fingertips and let's touch the sky. So we're going to grow a few inches taller, and we're going to loosen up the back. So we're going to grow through the spine and reach up nice and tall. And then you're going to exhale to the top of your heads. Can we try again? So you're going to take a deep breath in, push up the palms and touch the sky. And then exhale, bring it back down slow. Each time you do, don't be afraid to exaggerate the stretch. Don't be afraid to grow through the palms, through the shoulders, just enough for you. Last, reach up into Tadasana, which is palm tree pose. Then we're going to practice a little bit of balance. So you're going to lift off your heels onto the balls of your toes and rise up. And then slowly back down. Now the first couple of attempts we do is going to feel a little bit stiff, a little bit insecure with our balance, but we become used to it. Let's try 2 or 3 more. Blue, unless you're going to join in, please could you go back to your bed and go to sleep, little doggy. Take a wide stance, soften your knees, and let's do swaying palm tree pose. So now this is going to be a lot of twist and bend for the spine. So I'm going to give you 2 options. If you do suffer lower back pain, I'm just going to encourage you to do a gentle side bend. So it's just going to be a small stretch side to side. That might be enough for most people. Especially after a long day in the office, standing on your feet all day, you might feel a little bit stiff. And you might not want to go for the bigger side bend. Scratchy, off you go. Right, if you think, okay, I'm feeling quite good, I think I can, you're going to link together your fingers and you're going to push your palms up, and then we go for the full swaying palm tree pose. So we're going to exhale over and then bring yourself back to center, and then exhale over to the other side. Chest is facing forwards, your airway is open, so what I don't want to see is you cover your face. Head between your arms, and just like a swaying palm tree in the wind, we're going to move side to sides. Bend the knee that you lean over to. One more each way. And then bring yourself back to center. Let go of your arms, and then we practice Khatri Chakrasana, which is waist rotation. You're going to take your arms up in line with the shoulders. Once again, this is a lot of rotation for the lower back, so just take it easy to begin with. The hand goes to the shoulder, the hand goes behind the base of the back. You encourage that push at the shoulder, and then you glide and turn and look behind you. And then big breath in as you open up back to center. Other side. Breathe in, bring yourself up and open up the arms. Take a deep breath in, exhale, twist and turn. Once you've got your coordination, let's apply a little bit of pace and encourage a little bit of speed with this rotation. One more each way. Bring yourself back through to center and then relax your arms. Still with a nice wide stance now. We're going to do a roll down. So you're going to bring your chin in towards your chest and then start to roll down until your hands can either touch the ground or you're a little bit higher up. So your hands are going to touch the ground. One hand's going to go into the center, and you're going to push this palm into the ground, and then we're going to do a spinal rotation. The top hand goes towards the sky. Your eyes go to the top hand for me, please. Exhale, twist and turn. Let's rotate and try the other side. So one hand into the ground, one hand to the sky. One more each way. Come back to center and then start to roll up nice and slow, ending where you began. That was quite an advanced pose, so the easier option would be just to bend at the hips, bend at the knees, and then just do a higher angle of this rotation and a higher angle of the stretch, okay? Bring yourself back up to center and then close up your stance and bring your feet back together. Okay, from this position now, we're going to do another forward fold, and then you're going to bring your hands back into your heart, getting ready for balance. So you're going to lock your chin in towards your chest and then roll down, sweeping towards when you can feel the stretch behind your legs, and then roll up nice and slowly, and then find a nice neutral, comfortable position to stand in. Balance time. So please go near something, wall, something secure that you can hold on to. We're going to do one-legged prayer pose. So you're going to bring one foot either into the inner parts of the leg, knee, or to the highest position that you can support, and then your hands go in towards your heart. Balance is really good for switching off all of those heightened senses, calming our mind, and setting that comfortable, relaxing tone. Focus on your breath, so breathe deep. If you can breathe in and out through the nose, I would encourage you to, but otherwise just breathe as naturally as you can. We're going to lift up nice and tall and then reach, a nice long stretch for the back. Open up the shoulders, open up the chest, and pretend you are holding the world in your hands. So really relax through the palms. And then close your hands back into Pranama-asana, which is your heart's energy points. When you're ready, lower that foot back down to the ground. Walk yourself out a little bit, blink a little bit, get your focus back. When you're ready to change over, you're going to switch onto the other leg. So foot comes into the inner leg, the hands go back in towards your heart. Switch off your mind and focus if you can on one thought, something that keeps you away from any distractions. Deep breath in, let's lengthen. Exhale out to the sides. And then bring your hands back into Anahata Chakra, your heart's energy points. Feet back down to the ground. March yourself out a little bit, and let's go into Sun Warrior. So I did this exercise with you in our hip session, so we should be a little bit used to this exercise, but we're going to do a couple of versions. So I'm going to do an easier version with you and then a more advanced version. So So when you're ready, make sure your knee is pointing in line with your toes, your hips are nice and facing forwards, our arms go out wide. We're going to drive into the side of our knee, into our thigh, and then fall upon it. Take the top arm up and over, and then really get a nice stretch. For myself, I'm particularly tight around the sides of my back, so kind of around the QL. If you can feel it in the lower back, you might notice where you are holding your tension. For others, they might feel it more in the hips. If you think, okay, I can go a little bit deeper into the stretch, you're going to reach down and take that hand off the thigh and hold it. When you're ready to come back up, the top hand goes towards the sky. We push up into our upper body. Hands come back in towards your heart. And then you're going to slide that heel in and then switch around your other side. Hands go back into Anahata Chakra. So take a moment or two to see fire, to see hearts. When you're ready, open up your shoulders. And then we're going to lean to the side. The elbow drops onto the thigh, the top arm goes up and over. Hold your steady position. Find where you feel the tightness, the tension, and just work with it. If you can go a little bit deeper into this exercise, your hand that is resting on towards your thigh goes down towards the ground. Exhale, push up into it, and then close up your pose. Bring in that knee that was in flexion, and then bring yourself back to steady. Okay, bring yourself into a comfortable seated position. So from here, feet are going to be together and over, facing forwards. I'm just conscious, and I'm just hoping this camera has got most of me in that you can see. I'll do my best as an instructor to give you as much cues and instructions as I can. Okay, so from this position here, the hardest thing I'm guessing for you is to be in this seated position, because we all want to fall back and find the couch or find a chair. If you find that your back muscles are just singing out to you, do find something flat and supportive that you can just prop your shoulders up against, just to give you that little bit of help. If you can use your back muscles, do encourage a nice long straight spine if you can think about that, and sit onto the edge of your sit bones. A little bit of a hinge forward at the hips. From here, we're just going to gently roll forwards and reach for our ankles. Press your knees lightly in towards the ground. Hold for roughly 10 to 15 seconds, and then edge yourself back up again. Should we try that again? So keeping as straight as back as you can think about, just lean forwards, hinging at the hips, and then driving in towards the thighs. Release the tension around your upper body. Breathe in, bring yourself back. I'm going to try one more time. I'm just trying to encourage you to use those back muscles, because the chair is probably one of the worst inventions that we've had, because it just encourages us to use a support rather than use our own supports. Bring yourself back up. Okay, from here, what we're going to do now is we're going to bring in one leg. So I'm going to bring in my left. You, if you're facing me, will probably bring in your right leg. And then we're just going to slide down our right thigh. So let's do the same limb so we don't get tangled up. You've brought in your left, I'm sliding down my right leg. Hold where you feel the tension, the stretch. For most people that I see in class, they can probably go to about there, and that's enough for them. And hey ho, I'm encouraging you to work with your own flexibility and your own level. So you choose. This is your class. Breathe in, bring yourself back up. Okay, from here, you're going to take that opposite hand. So my left hand is going behind my back. My palm is facing out the window. And then I'm going to roll forwards, reaching right hand, right ankle, and then press gently in towards my right leg. Breathe in when you're ready to rise. Take that foot, so my left foot is going to go over my right leg. I'm going to hug my left thigh in towards my chest and twist and turn and look over my left shoulder. So I was laughing about this last week because every time I teach this exercise, everybody seems to go that way. So if you have just gone that way, change your direction, change your turnaround, and we're going over, looking at the outer part of our thigh. And then you look over the shoulder as far as you can see without tension. Breathe out, twist yourself back to face me, and then take your turn over to one side and see if you can tuck. Otherwise, keep your leg exactly where it was. From this position now, we're still using those back muscles, but we're also getting a nice stretch through the legs and massaging the abdominal region. Our left elbow now, if you've stayed with the same limbs as me, is going up towards the sky. I'm going to see, I know I can, but can you latch together your fingers from behind you? Head up facing forwards. Just try your best to hold on to this position without feeling pain, without feeling tension being created. We're just going to ease out the arm muscles, ease out the leg muscles. Start to unwind now. So let go of fingertips. Stretch away your top leg, stretch away your bottom leg, and outdo them. Wiggle your seat about a little bit just to encourage a little bit more blood flow. And then forward fold gently once again, and notice if that feels any easier. So as we go along, you should find that your stretching becomes slightly more at ease. Breathe in as you rise on up. And do you remember which leg now that we need to change onto? So I'm going to bring my right knee up into flexion, and then I'm going to face forwards to stretch for my left ankle. The moment you feel the stretch, you hold on to it. It takes roughly 6 to 10 seconds for a stretch reflex to relax, and then you can maybe perhaps go a little bit further into it. Otherwise, just ease off if you feel you've gone too far too soon. Breathe in, lift your head up. The hand goes behind the back, palm facing away, and then we're going to stretch down again. You'll notice in my type of yoga, Satyananda yoga, that I hold all the stretches for roughly 10 to 30 seconds at some times. Because this type of yoga works on our flexibility, so we're working on developing our stretches. A lot of other types of yoga, such as Vinyasa yoga or Ashtanga, there is a lot of jumping into exercises, so they're working a lot on joint stability and breath. And then there's Vinyasa, which is more of a flowing type of yoga, and they're working through a lot of dynamic stretching. Satyananda mixes up a lot of them, so we get the benefits of all the types of yoga. For now, we're working on our developing stretches, so we're holdings. Breathe in as you rise on up, and let's take that foot across the thigh, hug the knee in towards the chest, and then we're going to the outer part of the thigh, twisting and turning, and then looking over the shoulder. Out breath to return, and then we're going to sit over onto our one side, and then I'm going to slide my knee over, so I'm sitting in this nice cross-legged position. Right elbow this time goes up, head up off your chest, elbow towards the ceiling, and then you're going to see if you can latch. Many people can latch their fingers on one side of their body, and then on the other side they find it a little bit harder. So let's just sort of recognize and notice how our bodies feel and the difference between our two sides. When you're ready, let's undo our fingertips. We'll stretch away our legs. So we're now into a nice, comfortable V position. Now, social purposes, I will face my couch, so I'm not square onto you. So just make sure your legs are into a V position. And then we're going to, again, do a little bit of rotation with our backs. So from here, you're going to reach over for one leg and forward fold. So you might feel a lovely stretch into your hamstrings. You might find it into your hips, or particularly for myself, it will be into my lower back. Breathe in, walk up your upper body, twist and turn, face your other side, and then same position. Now, wow, I've got a very big difference on my two sides. My right side, I feel a lot longer, lengthened, and flexible. My left side, I get to about there, and I'm thinking I may or may not want to go any further. So again, start to recognize how far you need to go in order to get a stretch. There is no point overstretching, so there's no point thinking I want to be flexible and I'm going to push this stretch to its furthest range of motion. You're just going to work with what you've got. So encourage your stretch, and then find the stretch reflex, wait for it to relax, and then maybe you can go a little bit farther. Breathe in, bring yourself back to center, And now you're just going to slide into the center of your 2 feet. You're going to place one hand into the middle and then do a lovely rotation and look to the top hand. Exhale, twist and turn, and then spin round, look to the other arm. We're speeding up a little bit more now because we're going into a dynamic type of stretch. So a movement type of stretch. One more each way. Hand into ground, hands up to sky. And then bring yourself back to center and walk yourself up. From here, now we go into speed work. So we're going to reach for our foot and then you come back. Reach for your foot, now just hit a curtain, hopefully you've got enough space. So you're going to reach for a foot, you're going to come back up, you're going to reach for a foot, you're going to come back up. Exhale as you lean down, try and coordinate your breath now, that you inhale as you come up. One more each way, and then bring yourself back to center, and then regain your breath, regain your heart rate. Well done. Right, so I'm just thinking, I'm hoping you'll be able to see me as I lie on my back. So from now, if you want a pillow, prop it behind your head, otherwise lie yourself gently onto your back. And feel your body. Sounds obvious, but notice where you're holding your stiffness, where you're holding tension. And just allow your spine to rest down onto the ground. From here, we're going to do a few spinal stretches and a few back stretches. So you're going to take one foot, let's be at our left leg, and then just bring it up, foot towards the ceiling, and then you're just going to hold either the back of the thigh, calf, or lower into the ankle, and just gently ease out that leg. That leg, straight as it is, goes down to the ground. You're going to grab hold of your opposite knee and draw it over the midline of your body, and then just gaze over your shoulder. Now, if you can't stretch your arm, please do. For me, I'm just going to keep it into flexion because I'm squidged up against the wall. So you're going to pull that knee over the middle of your body. You're going to look towards your opposite arm. Yourself back so you're back facing the sky. Walk both knees back in and let's stretch out our right leg or our opposite leg. Press the back in towards the ground. The leg, straight as it is, goes down towards the floor. You're going to pull up your opposite knee, fold it over the middle of the body, and then the eyes go towards the opposite arm. So for me now, my arm I can see into, my knee I'm struggling to turn. Find somewhere where you've got enough space. And you won't need to be about filming yourself, so you can use a full room if you need to. Bring yourself back to center and then bring both knees up towards you. From here, we're going to hug our knees. I'm going to encourage you to actually create a ball. And then just roll from side to side and just try and ease out your lower back safely. Maybe form a few circles. If you can bring yourself up like a ball, please try and do so. Otherwise, come up into a comfortable seated position where you feel nice and comfortable to sit in for a little while. Okay, we're going back to some pranayama and we're going back to some bandhas, which are what we began with, the Jalandhara Bandha throat lock. So bring your hands back into China Mudra, gesture of the mind. And let's finish off our session with some meditation, relaxation and pranayama breath. Okay, so for now, close your eyes and just listen out for your breathing once again. Your heart rate hopefully has come down to a resting heart rate level. Your breathing rate should be slowing down to a normal breath. Allow your breath in to come through both your nostrils. Allow your breath out to escape however you feel most comfortable and most natural to breathe for now. Then I'm going to direct you in through the nose, out through the nose, if you can start to focus upon that. Okay, so now do you remember Jalandhara Bandha at the beginning of the class? Can we revisit that exercise and see if we can maybe practice it with a little bit more control, a little bit more concentration? So you're going to take a deep breath in through your nose and then you're going to lock your chin in towards your chest and lock that air around your neck to massage the organs around our throat. So take a deep breath in. Chin goes in towards your chest, we lock in energy, we lock in the air, hold it until you need your out breath, and then you're going to lift your head up and exhale out. And we'll try 2 more. One more attempt. Resume normal breath. Right, everybody, make sure now that you found a very, very quiet setting. So I'm just going to hope that my little dog in the corner stays quiet for this. But we're just going to switch off now with a little bit of meditation, a little bit of mindfulness to end your session. With all the asanas that we've just done for the physical body, they will have had a profound benefit on your mental body. So for now, if you're like me, you may be feeling that lovely placebo effect that yoga has, that you've sort of switched off all of those distractions, all of those senses, you've cooled down and sort of desensitized your vision, your eyes, your feeling, your touch, all of those senses that are constantly working at full scale, full volume, start to slow down and you start to find that peace and that relaxation that we're all working towards. Now yoga, again, mindfulness. So we've got our three bodies. We've got our physical, our mental and our soulful bodies. And by practicing methods, practicing skills, we hopefully find that pedestal and that balance between all three of them. So a little bit of mindfulness, what Yoga Nidra is, just to finish off our session. Lie down on your backs if you wish to. Have a pillow underneath your heads, or find somewhere comfortable that you can sit, that you're not feeling tension within the body. So for example, if you're on a very hard surface with your back, or you're feeling pins and needles in your legs or so, I would encourage you to find a really comfortable position that you don't have to fidget too much, if that makes sense. Okay, close your eyes for me, and I just want you to fall into your breathing, fall into your minds, and just allow what happens to happen. Don't try and force relaxation. Don't try and force anything. From here, I want you to see the colors behind your closed eyes. I want you to try and see the shapes behind your closed eyes. From there, between your two eyes, there's an energy point known as Anya Chakra. I want you to focus upon it. Move down into your throat. Focus upon that area around your neck. There is another energy point there known as Visuddhi Chakra. I want you to focus upon it. Take your awareness down into your heart. Anahata Chakra, your heart's energy point. Into your navel, Manipura Chakra, and deep down below, Muladhara Chakra, another energy point. Move back upwards, all the way to the crown of your head, to Sarahasara Chakra. All these energy points that I've named work amongst each other to create balance, to create harmony, and to create peace. Whatever emotion that you're feeling right this moment, acknowledge it. Do not try and change it. Do not judge it. Do not critique it. But I just want you to recognize it for a moment or two. Know how you feel right now. Whether it be negative or whether it be a positive emotion that's sprung into your mind. Acknowledge, recognize, and then accept it. Your physical body, how do you feel right now? Once again, acknowledge it and then accept it. Find peace within your physical body. Find peace within your mental body. Take a deep breath in of positivity. So feel your breath. Allow the vibrations, allow the energy to fill from top to toe. And then as you breathe out, try and let any tension, any pain escape your body through your breath. So let's try again. Take a deep breath in of clarity, of calm, and then a forceful exhale out all the way to the end of the exhale, breathing out any negativity or any pain. Start now for everybody to listen to the noises that you can hear in the distance, from birds to cars to people to wherever you are in this world. Just listen out for those noises, and one by one allow them to slowly start to distract your relaxation. Start to listen to them, make them out, make those noises out. So if you can hear birds, listen for them, listen to the vibrations. If you can hear cars, listen to the tones. Start to make very small movements, fingers, toes, wiggle yourself about a little bit. And then however you prefer to bring yourself into a comfortable seated position, just like I am now, please do. As you are now, bring your hands into China Mudra and let's finish up our session. So you, once again, pranayama, breath control, energy control. You're going to listen for your breathing, allow it to hypnotize you, to calm you, to soothe you. And then you're going to spin your wrists side to side, and you're going to say Santi, 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 which means God of peace. Bring your palms together, generate some heat, and then take that heat and that energy towards your eyes and try 2 more times. Thank you very, very much. I'm hoping you got to the end of this and you were able to follow along. Have a lovely rest of your day or evening, or however you are. Just enjoy it. Accept emotion, accept anything that you're faced with, and face it with positivity. Well done, everyone.